Hey guys, it's Raegan Kelly here from the Freedom 15 movement, and I've got quite a personal video lined up for you today, and I've actually got a bit of a bone to pick, metaphorically speaking, and I say this with the utmost love and respect in my heart, but I do hope that this is a message that strongly resonates with you as well. And I'll get straight into talking about what that message is, and that is that life does not have to be so hard. It really doesn't. See, I think a lot of us grow up believing, or at least at some point early in our lives, we're conditioned to believe that life, even daily life, has to have some kind of a struggle or a fight attached. Really, that we're just persisting to get to this ever-elusive end goal, whatever that may be. You know, perhaps retirement is high on the list for many people. So it's really this mentality of having to slog it out. And I do think that a lot of us convince ourselves, and we spend a lot of time convincing ourselves, myself included in the past, that really life has to be quite hard. And this is a concept that I took away from reading Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek. And guys, if you haven't read that already, I would strongly recommend you bumping that up the list for your personal development going into 2015. And in that book, The 4-Hour Workweek, he really talks about what he calls the resignation to working 9 to 5 according to that 40-40-40 plan that I spoke of yesterday, for a sometimes relaxing weekend, or perhaps an occasional holiday, or, as I said, that ever-elusive end goal, whatever that may be, perhaps retirement. And I think with this kind of mentality, we never stop to challenge that status quo. We never stop to question that perhaps there's an alternative way, as opposed to working hard our whole life to retire at, say, 65, when our best years, our prime years, are actually already behind us. So daily challenges really have a way of overwhelming us a lot of the time and really making life harder than it actually has to be. And the way that this is portrayed is through the conversations that we're having, through our body language, and even in the story that we tell ourselves. Really, the inspiration for this video actually comes from various conversations that I've heard particularly recently, and I seem to be hearing them more and more, or at least they're really triggering something deep inside of me that really makes me quite distressed. You know, the conversation that I heard most recently was two ladies speaking. One was going back to work, and she said, oh, you know, it pays the bills. And it's really this cliche saying, and she's not the first person that I've heard say it. In fact, it's quite common. And it really illustrates this mentality that whatever we're doing or whatever we're working for actually has little to no passion for us. It doesn't really align with our purpose, and we're just doing it for the sake of doing it. As I said, that there's some kind of a struggle around this. For many people, this idea of being a hard worker is actually a belief that is at the very heart of our self-identity and our self-image. As I said, this is a reality for many people, and it certainly was my reality for a really long time. Now, with this comes the mentality that working 8 hours is automatically better than working 5 hours. As I said in a previous video, society tends to reward this idea of personal sacrifice and this idea of being busy for busyness' sake, rather than finding a way to live out our own individual passions and to actually have a reason to jump out of bed in the morning, rather than this idea of going to work to just simply pay the bills. Now, ultimately, there are a ton of ways, literally hundreds of thousands of ways, that we can overcome slipping into that mentality that life has to be so hard. Now, the chances are that if you're watching this video, you're more than likely already in the home-based business industry. And if that is you, then you've obviously already taken those first steps to aligning your passion and your purpose throughout your life. And that is something that I absolutely congratulate and applaud you on doing. Another really simple strategy is just to show gratitude. You might even think about starting a gratitude journal, literally just to jot a couple of things down at the end of each day that you can be grateful for, even if that's the simple fact that the day is over and you're going to sleep. something else that really keeps me in check and stops me from slipping into that mentality that is, as I said, very pervasive in today's society, is to simply recall a recent scientific study that was conducted. And in that study, scientists actually calculated that the odds of you or I being born in today's day and age to the parents we were born to is 1 in 400 trillion. So using language such as going to work to pay the bills, or I'm so busy, or life's so hard, and really other kinds of phrases and words and body language to encapsulate this idea that life is so hard does nothing to illustrate the reality, as I said, of you being born today is 1 in 400 trillion. So guys, if this is a message that's really strongly resonated with you, I would absolutely love to hear from you. You can either email me or reach out to me on social media. I would love to hear your opinions. You can also use the hashtag, of course, just freedom15, freedom15. And if you haven't already, jump on over to freedom15.info and subscribe. If you have found value, feel free to like, to comment, to share. And remember, be brave with your life. It does not have to be so hard. I love you all. Thank you so much, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.
Tell you to run.